At the time of recording this, we are about to hit 400 subscribers, so in celebration, I'll be doing my first ever Q&A. So let's start with the basic cubing questions. Cubes Worlds asks, which is your main 3x3? So my main is the X-Man Tornado V3 Flagship Edition. I did an unboxing of this on my channel. It's a really awesome cube that's really fast, but also controllable. That one cuber asks, how many WCA events can you solve? I can solve 2x2 through 5x5, Square One, Cube, Mega, Pyraminx, Clock, and One-Handed. So everything but 6x6 and 7x7. Superstar 308 asked, what are your main cubes for all the events? So 2x2 I main the MGC, 3x3 I already answered, 4x4 the Meilong M, 5x5 also the Meilong M, Clock, the Shang Xiao, the MGC Square One, YJU Hu V2 Megaminx, Chi MS Pyraminx, X-Man Wingy V1 Cube, and for one-handed, I use the RS3M 2020. I have no clue how to pronounce this, but I'm gonna try. Eason YT asks, what do you average in every event? So 2x2 sub 5, 3x3 sub 12, 4x4 sub 55, 5x5 haven't done it in a while, but probably like 2 minutes 30. Cube about 12, Square One about 18, Pyraminx sub 8, one-handed 24, Megaminx 1 minute 30 to 1 minute 40, and Clock about 20. That one cuber also asks, what's your PB 3x3 single? And it is 7.462, but unfortunately I didn't get it on video. That one cuber also asked, what's your favorite and least favorite WCA event? I love 3x3, Square One, and one-handed, but if I had to pick just one, probably Square One. And for my least favorite, it's probably Cube. I hate the way it turns. It's just sledgehammer and it pops a lot, so I'm sorry Cube lovers, but no Cube for me. Tyranny Gaming asked, what is your most hated F2L, OLL, and PLL cases? So for PLL, I really hate the EPERM, and then OLL's 14 and 12, and for F2L, the flipped edge in the slot case. That one cuber asks, how long have you been cubing for? And the answer is almost 2 years. I started December 23rd, 2020. Marble Minion asks what I average on 3x3, and the answer is like barely sub 12, like 11.9. Marble Minion also asks, how many comps have you been to? And at the moment, I've been to 2, Florida Fall 2021 and Cubing Bulls. But I'm registered for 2 more, FSU Cubers 3.0 and Pegasus 2023. I have no idea how to pronounce this name, but I'm gonna guess Chuyo CH. So which is harder, 5 blind or multi-blind? I've never done either, but I'm gonna guess 5 blind just because it's a bigger cube. That one cuber also asks, what's your most memorable PB? So I was going to make a video where I didn't stop cubing until I got a sub 2 minute solve on 5x5. And it took me hours, but the video got scrapped because it was boring. But I eventually did get the sub 2, so I guess that one. They also asked, who taught you CFOP? And it was obviously JPerm. I'm not going to try to pronounce this one either, but they asked, what alg should I learn after full CFOP at sub 20? Stop focusing so much on alg sets and fix your F2L. Because if you know full CFOP and you're still only sub 20, something is wrong with your F2L. And Charu Cubes asked, what's the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you cubing related? So my first comp was in 2021, and they were still doing the COVID thing where you sit down at a table, give the judge your cube, wait, and then you get the cube back, solve it, and give it back, and wait again. So when I went to my second comp, they were back to normal, where you submit your cube into the box and go wait in the waiting area. But I didn't know that, so when they called up my 4x4 group, I just sat down in the waiting area with my cube. And everyone else was already on like their 4th solve, and I hadn't been called up for my first one. So I asked someone, and they asked if I had submitted my cube. And I was like, how do you submit your cube? And then they told me, and I tried to submit my cube mid-round, and one of the delegates was like, well, you didn't come up when you were called, so you can compete with the next group. So I had to wait for the next group. Freddie Rosales asked, what do you average on all WCA events? And I already answered that question, but they also asked, what is the best cube in your opinion? So I'm just going to say the X-Man Tornado V3, because I absolutely love that cube. Cubified asked, in 10 years, how do you think cubing will be different? Will it be more popular or will it even exist? And this is a really good question, and I think it's going to grow. I definitely think it will still exist, And I think if the WCA continues doing what they're doing, making it more spectator friendly, it's definitely going to grow. Sebastian Morber asked, how do you be more consistent? And asking me, how do you be more consistent, is like asking a guy who weighs 400 pounds, how do you get skinny? I am not consistent at all. So sorry, but I can't really help you with that. Cubing with Eagle asks, what's the best mid-range cube besides the X-Man Tornado V3? And before I mained the Tornado V3, I mained the WRM 2021, which is also MoU because I love MoU. And I don't own too many cubes, so that's my answer. Cool Dudette, aka my mom, asks, how do I begin cubing? I promise I will teach you someday. But to everyone else watching that wants to get started, buy the RS3M 2020, watch J Perm's tutorial or the tutorial on Rubix.com, and boom, you've started cubing. This person asks, how do people react when you solve a cube fast? And they think I have the hugest brain on the planet. But another thing that gets the non-cubers is when I start an alg and then I look up because I can do the alg without looking, and then suddenly they're like, whoa, you don't even have to look. And I'm like, well, that's not how it works. And M. Troy asked, what is your funniest non-cuber encounter? I don't really have too many of these because I don't bring my cubes in public. But one time I brought my cube to a picnic at the park, and there was this like 5-year-old kid who kept scrambling it and then asking me to solve it, and I kept solving it for him. And then he twisted a corner and he thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Then he took it, presumably to scramble it, and came back without it, and I asked him where it was, and he said he had left it in a tree. After screaming inside, I went to the tree and found that it had fallen off the tree onto the concrete. And that is why I don't take my cubes out in public anymore. This person asked, what's your favorite food? So my guilty pleasure foods are pizza and pasta. I love like all pasta, and a bunch of people are gonna come after me for this, but I love pineapple on my pizza. They also asked, what's my favorite color? And I've had a lot of favorite colors before, but now it's black, or for a slightly less generic answer, navy blue. This person asked, what's your favorite YouTube channel? And at the moment I'm subscribed to 113 channels, which I know is a lot, but I have a lot of interests, okay? So favorite cubing channels, there's Cube Master, Cubehead, JF Cubing, Luke Garrett, Scooch Cubing, and there's a lot of others, but those are some of the more popular ones that came to my head. And then I like productivity, minimalism, and self-help stuff, so there's Gabe Built, Vincent Chan, and Matt Diavella, and then vidIQ and Think Media for YouTube growth content. And I also love running, so there's That Messy Happy, the running channel, and Nico Felich, I don't know. And I love my music, so we have Shawn Mendes, Charlie Puth, Ed Sheeran, and Olivia Rodrigo. So that's my super long answer, but overall top 3 is probably Matt Diavella, vidIQ, and Gabe Built. Classy Bride asks, what grade are you in? And I am currently a sophomore in high school or 10th grade. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this name, but they ask, how old are you? And if only there was a place in my description that said that. Marble Minion also asks what I edit with, and I edit with Wondershare Filmora 11. Mo Cuber asks, how'd you come up with the name GTCubes? And I'm not that creative, so it's just my initials and then cubes at the end.